his death happened, very, very quickly. And the point, people are fully entitled. This is an issue for the entire community, black, white or brown.
Thank you.
We have to point out to people that it is absolutely not acceptable for lethal force to be used in a situation where it did not have to be used.
Yeah.
How was it not possible for 12 or 15 armed Gardai to disarm a young man with a kitchen knife?
Right.
Of course, nobody should have knives, but the reality is those are situations the Gardai will be in every day of the week.
Exactly.
I just want to say
There is a similar situation in the centre.
Really serious
Just two
concern
guards.
for civil liberties
They
for
disarmed the
everybody
young
in
man
this
with a
country
knife.
that has happened.
Just two. Total for 15.
I also want to say the fact that could this happen to a white person? Yes, it could. We have to say that. It could happen to some working class person in one of the estates that the Gardai constantly sensationalise on the K and all of these programmes. However, that does not take away from the fact that every single day black people in this country experience racism and experience racism also from the Gardai.
Yes. Any office
There's a survey done showing that 30% of Gardai had bad attitudes to black people. They also have bad attitudes to travellers. Travellers in this country have experienced, racial profiling and bad treatment from the state and from authorities and from the Gardai. So it is not acceptable. We have to have the police force that responds to the entire community, is answerable to the entire community, and is representative of the entire community. And so we have to make this an issue for everybody. I want to say that the racism, the vitriol that's been spewed out on social media is extremely concerning for everybody. It's had an impact, obviously, on people black, who are a minority. It's had an impact on all of us as well, because we do not want to see our communities divided. And obviously, we all want to see effective and peaceful protesting taking place. That's what's happening here today. We also need to be mindful about COVID. We have to be mindful of social distancing. As somebody who takes part and has taken part in protests, because we don't want to put anyone's health in danger. So that could be something that an organising committee could look at here today as the pandemic is at its height. We also have to say that absolutely understandable anger is going to pour out, particularly from young people like the speaker of the heard. I completely sympathise with what she has said, and the experiences that she has had and many others are having. But we need to ensure that we have effective protests that are going to be able to involve more of the community and that don't lend themselves to being misinterpreted and misconstrued by racists and people want to divide the community. So, like some actions that might have happened after one of the previous protests, obviously, let's just go so we want to ensure that the focus is kept on the Gardai to answer the questions about why they killed George Nkencho and why they weren't able to act in the same way they acted. We should use a recent example that happened very nearby earlier this year when a man who allegedly had brutally murdered his own wife inside his house was armed with a samurai sword, and yet the Gardai were able to arrest him without killing him. Why did they not do that?
Similar incident in the city centre as well.
And those are the examples we should use. Why were they able to use less lethal weapons, tasers or whatever? It really does defy credulity. I don't know who was is responsible for the death, but the family and the community are entitled to those answers. And we have to demand it, from the public representatives that you've elected and from the entire community. I just want to finish by saying that Dublin 15 has been a multi-ethnic, diverse community. And we want to ensure that we maximise the unity in the community. We want to eliminate the scourge, poison of racism. It is the case that not everybody who experiences discrimination understands the discrimination that you are feeling on a daily basis. In the same way as sexism is experienced by women, which men may not understand. Well, also people who are white don't understand what you are experiencing in terms of discrimination on a daily basis. People have to open themselves and listen to what's been said about how people are treated. And we need, in the last few days, I've attempted, I'm not a TD, but I am active in the community and will remain, political representative and socialist, and will always be that all my life. But myself, John, who spoke earlier, and others, we will attempt to open up a dialogue in the community between, the community and between all the representatives and community leaders. We started in the last couple of days to try to have a dialogue about, the impact of this, and we have to continue that. And that's something that I'm willing to play a role in.
Thank you.
And I also want to mention, we have an article on our website, socialistparty.ie, and on my page, which we try to, deal with all of the issues around this, including the issues John mentioned of the austerity this community has faced, the housing crisis, which is at a huge fever pitch, affecting, everybody, including the African community very much so. I've worked with lots of the Nigerian community who've been faced with homelessness and with our And I just want to say that on all of these issues, in order to fight the inequality that's been heaped on most people in this area, we need to stay united and maintain the type of solidarity that we saw in the marriage equality referendum, in the repeal campaign, in the water charges. We need to rebuild and reforge that unity. So I'll be willing to work with everybody to do that. I'd also like to say that some of our youth members, have been involved in the establishment of Youth Against Racism and Inequality, the Army schools, and have been attending, some of the protests. So if you'd like to, contact that as well, if you're interested in finding out more. So just again to say condolences, and also keep up the peaceful protests, and let's try to build solidarity to get the accountability that we deserve.
Sorry, what's your name? What's your name again? Your name?
Ruth.
Ruth Carpenter.